So we're going to cover those holes, some wire and a sheet of mesh here. Fair sized holes there so we can get some good drainage going as well. You only need a little bit. There's no point putting too much in, it's a waste of mesh, but also I've seen people who have cut out a piece of mesh the whole size, the bottom of the pot there. And the problem with that is that when the roots are growing over a period of time, the roots will grow through the mesh. When you come to repot it, it's hard to actually give it a good root prune. So we only need a little bit, a little square. I can actually cut that in half. So we're going to cover the holes like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire the mesh to the pot. I'll use a bit of this. Just a bit of bonsai wire there. And an old faithful chopstick. Now watch closely. I'm going to make up a little wire clip. And bend them around. Back the other way. Get my wire cutters. So I've got that. And now I'm going to put some legs on him. Bend it down. Same on the other side. So now it looks like that. And then we can take that and we can push him through the holes, and then what we'll do is we'll just bend the legs over like that. So that bit's in there now. So now we'll just wire in the other one. And then we can put some soil in. And down the legs. A little bit of mesh. And again, pull the legs through, bend them over. All right. The idea of wiring that bits of mesh in is that when we actually come to put the tree in, and we will have to position it, so we'll have to be moving it around, sliding it around in the pot to make sure it's in the right place. And what can happen is it can push the mesh basically off the holes, and then the soil will come through. So we've got that. Now we're going to put in an anchor wire. So we're going to use this wire to tie the tree into the pot. Because we've got, basically if we just sort of pop him in the pot as he is, even with the new soil around, he's going to rock around a little bit because we've changed the complete shape of the root ball. So we're going to want to hold him in nice and firm. Just pop that through the bottom, through there. Right, all we need now is a little bit of soil. I'm going to use some of this. This is basically dried loam. It's been sterilised. It's in a little sort of pellet form. This is called akadama. This actually has come in from Japan. The idea of this is that it's quite hard. I can crush it. But what it does is it keeps a lot of air in the pot. The little bits of soil, they soak up moisture, provide the nutrients so the roots can grow into. but it keeps a lot of air in there, and what it does is it creates a really nice fibrous network of roots. So we're going to use some of that. There are loads of different types of soils. I'll show you a couple of other examples. This one. So this soil is called Kiryu, another Japanese soil. This is predominantly for pines, especially sort of black pines and red pines, the type of trees which would be growing in very, very rocky conditions, don't have a lot of soil, and are used to living sort of almost clinging to life. You can break it, but it's a bit more stony. So it's not low, it is sort of more rocky. The idea is that this provides very, very good drainage. You wouldn't put, when you could grow other trees in this, but you'd have to just keep watering and watering and watering them throughout the summertime. So that's really for sort of trees like black pines and red pines, trees like that. Another type of soil, well, it's not soil, but sort of more like grit, really. Okay, this is for junipers. Very, very gritty soil. It's a mixture of sort of ground up pumice and some grits and some bits of sort of rock in there as well. This is for, as I say, junipers. Other trees which need really good drainage so that they don't get root rot. It's very important for trees like junipers and pines to make sure that they have good drainage. If they become waterlogged, then the roots will start to rot very, very quickly and the tree will die. So we'll put them back to the Akadama. This is a good all-round potting media. You can actually grow most things in this, so that's what we're going to use today. This tree here, the Chinese elm, it can live indoors or outdoors, so it's quite adaptable. Lots of trees have to live outdoors, but if you have got a tree inside, then yes, you will need something for it to stand on. Some pots like this, they actually come with a matching tray. It sits on there like that, so it catches all the water that drains out the bottom. Now we need some soil. I've got my trusty old soil scoop. He's a bit dented now, but it still works fine. We get these different sizes. They come in small, medium and large, like that. Okay, these are very, very useful. I'm going to use the small one because it's a small pot. I've got some Akadama down here. And I'm just going to put some in the bottom there. So we put that in, and then just sort of flatten it off. You don't want to put too much in at the moment, just enough to cover the base of the pot. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try the tree in there for height. So we'll just pop him in there. Try him for height. Now what we're looking for is to make sure that the start of the tree, this area around here, is not sitting too high and is not really low in the pot. If you're sitting too low, I'll sort of pop him behind, then you start to lose the start of your tree actually into the pot. So we want to make it just sitting either sort of level with or just a little bit above. And of course you can lower the soil level or you can bring it up accordingly. So we just give him a little wiggle there. All right. Okay, that's not too bad. We've got some nice roots around here that we can see quite clearly. Now what we have to do is to make sure obviously that the front of the tree is actually towards the viewer. Also what we don't want to do is put the tree dead centre in the pot. We always throw it off balance a little bit. Things in nature they don't tend to be quite so symmetrical, so we just throw it off. Now you can try it one side and try it on the other side. And you can see it makes quite a lot of difference. I'm going to have a look from the front. Yes, I think I agree with that. So we're going to pop him in. Of course, if you've got a really heavy branch on one side, you tend to throw him more off there. This one's fairly even, so I'm going to keep him just off centre. Push him down, make sure he's upright that way. And he's not leaning one way or the other. That's good. give him a little wiggle, make sure the roots are down into the soil there.